When you hear the word businessman, what comes to mind? A three-piece suit, a suitcase, a cigar, and an office with a telephone on the wire? Now imagine the entrepreneur of 2025, sneakers, a laptop, artificial intelligence, and a startup growing without an office. Between these two images is a whole era of change, where success has ceased to depend on external gloss and has become a matter of the speed of thinking, the power of ideas, and the ability to change. Today we will compare two titans of our time, a businessman of the 1980s and an entrepreneur of 2025, to understand which of them was the real engine of progress and which had the most impact on the economy and the culture of success. In the 1980s, business was a status symbol. It was the era of corporate culture, jackets with shoulder pads, gold watches, and slogans like "Live for Work." The main goal is to build an empire, make a profit, and own something tangible: a factory, a chain of stores, a newspaper, or a brand. The businessman of the 80s lived in a world where information flowed slowly, connections solved everything, and success was measured in square meters of office and the number of employees. The business was heavy, cumbersome, but solid. At that time, he was the leader of the capitalist dream, confident, disciplined, and ambitious. He was a product of an era where corporation meant more than personality. The year 2025 turned everything around. A new generation entrepreneur doesn't build a corporation. He creates an ecosystem. His main tool is not a phone and a notepad, but a laptop, a startup platform, and artificial intelligence. He works from anywhere in the world, hires specialists remotely, and launches a product in weeks, not years. If the businessman of the 80s lived in a world of slow contracts and investments, then the entrepreneur of 2025 lives in a world of rapid growth and flexibility. His capital is attention, ideas, and the ability to build a personal brand. He's not selling a product, he's selling meaning, emotion, identity. The difference between them begins with the approach to risk. In the 80s, the businessman followed a proven path: loans, office, advertising, communications. Every step was calculated. A mistake could be worth everything. In 2025, an entrepreneur can fail 3 times and still start over, because the risks have become digital and the losses are temporary. Today, it's possible to fail one startup and launch another, thanks to investors, crowdfunding, and global platforms. The culture of mistakes has become a part of success. And this is the difference in philosophy. In the 80s, they hid the mistake. In 2025, they are proud of it as a lesson. The image of the leader has also changed. The businessman of the 1980s is strict, confident, and often authoritarian. His word is law, his office is a fortress. He controls from top to bottom. The entrepreneur of 2025 is an inspirer, mentor, and creator. It does not require, but motivates. Instead of a rigid hierarchy, there is team flexibility. Artificial intelligence is used instead of a secretary. Instead of meetings, there is a neural network that suggests solutions. It's not just a change of tools, it's a new leadership culture where power is replaced by influence, and control is replaced by trust. But the most interesting thing is what unites them. Both live for the sake of an idea. It's just that in the 80s the idea was about money and power, and in 2025 it was about meaning and innovation. Back then, brands were built around products: Coca-Cola, IBM, Ford. Today, brands are built around people: Elon Musk, Gary Vaynerchuk, Tim Cook. The personal brand has replaced the corporation. In the 80s, advertising was created on television and in magazines. In 2025, it is born on social networks, TikTok and YouTube, where the entrepreneur is the face of his business. Now a business is a story told to the world, not just a product on a shelf. Technology has changed not only the tools, but also the mindset. The businessman of the 80s saw the world through the prism of competition. The entrepreneur of 2025 is through collaboration and community. Then the competitor was the enemy. Today it is a partner in joint projects. The world has become global. If in the 80s the market was limited to a country, now one person can sell an idea to the whole world by simply launching an application. Even the office is no longer mandatory. In the 80s, without an office, there is no business. In 2025, the office is a laptop and the internet. Now let's talk about money. In the 1980s, success was measured by millions in the bank, the number of cars and real estate. In 2025, the number of subscribers, ideas, and influence. A new kind of wealth has appeared: intellectual capital. An entrepreneur of the 21st century can be a billionaire without a factory, without a staff, and without an office. His main wealth is his reputation and the trust of his audience. But don't underestimate the businessmen of the 80s. They laid the foundation of the modern economy, created a culture of efficiency, and created management models without which there would be no startups and venture capital. Their approach was different, but no less strategic. They worked in a world without the internet, where every decision required analysis, meetings, and paperwork. Their success was built slowly but thoroughly. Whereas modern entrepreneurs live in acceleration mode, they build a business on speed and creativity. They take risks because the world allows mistakes. The ethical aspect has also changed. The business of the 80s was harsh. The main thing is profit, the rest comes later. Today's business speaks about social impact, sustainable development, and caring for the planet. The entrepreneur of 2025 thinks not only about profit, but also about meaning, how his ideas affect society. This is a generation for whom success without benefit is no longer success. If Wall Street was the hero of business in the 80s, then in 2025 it will be Elon Musk, who creates rockets and neural interfaces. The world has changed, and with it the ideal of success has changed. In the 80s, he was a man who made millions. In 2025, the one who creates the future. However, it is worth recognizing that no era is better than another. They just reflect their time. The businessman of the 80s taught discipline and strategy. The entrepreneur of 2025 taught speed and flexibility. One built an empire brick by brick. The other creates it in the cloud in a matter of weeks. But both are driven by one thing: faith in their ideas and a desire to leave a mark. If these two people had met, the businessman of the 80s might not have understood how you can make millions sitting at home in front of a laptop. And an entrepreneur in 2025 would be surprised how it was possible to manage without the internet and a smartphone. But perhaps they would have respected each other, because then and now success requires the same thing: courage. And if you ask the question, which is stronger, the brand or the idea? The answer will be simple. In the 1980s, brands won. In 2025, ideas are winning. But in both cases, the winner is the one who believes in himself.